coffee yet. Top capper. Top one. Float. US patent covering diabetes. Well, I see a lot of wicks happening. Pop up, pull back, pop up, pull back, pull up. Same here. Pop up. Already pulling out. Nothing on the cap up. Price catalyst. 81% at 216. Security vote. On you. Cents. Bottom. Spec. Volume works. Go. That work. Have to hard. Turn up the gain. Does that do anything? Maybe? Down? This work. Hello? Okay. Does this work any better? Hello, hello, hello? Does that work? Test? Test? Okay, does this work? I think it might be a little bit better. Oh god. It's horrible. What? Why? This. 380 there. Advanced audio properties? Weird. Okay. Just trying to figure out the stupid audio. Just weird. It's acting funny. Yeti filters. Noise gate. Compressor. Okay. That back down. Does that work any better? Sounds a little bit better, but still have that little bit of um, noise gate, compression. Okay, well, anyways, PXMD is moving. If this thing can re-break out and retest 3, it would look okay. Then again, if it breaks 3, then it can move up to 330. What is that sound, dude? I think I'm just gonna have to delete this. There. Rename, vertical layout. Does that help do anything? I think it's the volume. Interesting. I mean, I don't understand it, but I saw the gain in that. If I change that to 10, just doesn't sound nice. I don't understand why. Got that in the background. Weird. I don't know how to fix that. So I'm just gonna have to mute that. Hope for the best. Okay, well, I'm just gonna mute that and hope for the best. So let's go over the watch list. LXEH. No, thank you. Halted as well. So volume 70,000. Okay, HSTO. Second gap up there. It's under the 200. It's got a small market cap and a small float. Hard to borrow. I don't know. I don't think this is anything worth trading yet. Especially with the wicks. I mean, you can short it if you really want. How much are for shorts? HSTO. 50 cents for 100 shares. It's 127 though. It's got a tiny range. I don't really want to. I want to trade something a little bit higher priced. PXMD price is better, but again, the chart is cracked. It's just gross. I don't know if I wanna. I wish I can get it up 290s. You know, if we could retest this pivot of pre-market. But let's keep it going. You know, here's my inner lines, here's my outer lines. 291 to 307. IMPL, no thanks. ORGS, no. AIMD. This is a multi-day runner. Very low volume. Can't trade this. HUBC, I remember this name from what? Oh. Do I? Maybe when the IPO came out. So it sold off heavy. 250s. High 330s. No news. Easy to borrow, which is nice, but so bouncing off the 200, or I wouldn't say bouncing, consolidating off the 200. $310 to 330, I'm gonna get rid of this. So you have that window in there. All the caps have failed, the tops. So best thing to do, tell me when it's at 310. HUBC, so I'm actually going to come over here. Here's the SPY, so I just know what I'm looking at. HSTO, EXMD, Mara, I'm going to keep up. THMO, let's see what's going on here. Rejected. It hits 644s again. You can reject. It is rejecting 580s as well. Not really interested in trading this, to be honest. I've been there, done that kind of thing. HUPC. And then what? TPT. Is Bitcoin moving? Not interested. On L. Not interested. HNRG. HNRG. Really not interested. So it looks like HSTO and Mara and HUBC. HUBC, it kind of jumped in price. I jump on it. HSTO is going, Mara is going. So let's take a look at Mara real quick. So it's coming up to VWAP. 850s would have to be my out, and we're at 815s. So, you know, it is such a hard sell-off. I do like it here. 773s, it's 25 cents, 50 cents, just under. Did they come out with more news? Yeah. No. Came out with news yesterday evening. Continues investigation holdings on behalf of investors. So there's an investigation going on. I might take a position here. Take a look on it on the daily. Second red day after, well, first red day after a green day here. No. But what's my out? I think 50 is a little bit too high. That's the problem. So I'm going to have to risk 15s. The problem is it can easily stop me out. So that's 850, 850s. This is ideally where I want it. But if it fails here, so we'll see if it comes back up. My thinking on this is if it drops below 8, I can then risk the 815 level. 8, and then ride it back down to 775. So that's 25 cents. And then try and ride this back down to 750s, 740s. But it's already made a bottom here, which is what the gap up was. But 750s is where it was ending yesterday, kind of consolidating down. So these are from previous days, can get rid of them. I mean anything right now. So that's the window that I kind of want at 748, so 750 to 780. So it's definitely thinking here. It's consolidating. If it breaks out, then don't want to jump right into it. So there's the new. Now, this is where you'd add if you can get this fill up here, but you're too close on the 5-minute, like right at market open. I guess you could. Excuse me. I have a feeling this thing's gonna break out. Like just yesterday, it kept breaking out. Like it just kept hugging you up. Right back up. Probably gonna take a trade here if it breaks down 8 or 805s. For a quick scalp at least. Come on, fill me, bro. What the hell? I even hit the bid. What's going on? Wow. And it goes without me. See if it bounces here. Okay, shorted at 8. 100 shares. I'm risking 815. Like 775. Or just a quick scalp. I wanted it up here, so I'm not going to go in full size because I need to have a higher average. But just put in a stop. Oops. Put a stop in 8/16. So risking 15 cents for 25, 25.30. So it's about close to 2 to 1. Not an ideal trade, but we know the market cap, we know the float. It rejected the VWAP. That's all I can risk right now because I missed my entry up here. And we can really just kind of ride it down to the downside and really just scale it out between 780s and 740s. Okay, stops because if it comes back up to 8/16s, then I'll wait and get out for small loss, full thing, and then add back in this area. I don't want to hold it all through this. So we'll see how it goes. Can take maybe another 50 shares. There's a big bid. I might pop us through. Looks like I'm gonna get stopped here. Try and add. Add 08s. I added there. Yeah, if it breaks 16s, I'm just gonna get out of the other 50. But I just added there because it popped back up. Increase my average and shares I'm more comfortable with. Just a small size, 150 shares. Added at starter at 8, added at 808. Now let's see if it breaks back through 8 and then rides down to the downside. HSTO. It's going. SPY's going off. HUBC coming up here. HUBC is looking good. It looks like I'm gonna get stopped on Mara. Wow, it's back at 3. I wanted 310s. See if we can take 100 shares at 310s. I'll take these shares here. Market at 20s, just the rest. Put that in there so I can check this out. So broke through view up, I see. Teens. Twos. 322s. 150. Stop in there at 331s. So we'll see if that plays out. But see what's going on here. Looks like it wants to flat break through 15s here. Sorry, it's pretty close. Well, we'll see. Here comes 15s. There it is. Blast through that. And then blast through 820s. Does it? Yeah, there's 20s. Got me out there. So that's okay. That means I can reposition and see if it wants to hit my spot. I'm going to start at 835s. I'm going to do 45s. And at 840s. There. GBC back under threes again. What's going on with this camera and stuff? I just took a little starter. Didn't work out, but look, it's coming right back down. What does that tell you? $15 looks good for a short setup. So does the 5. Stupid ass thing. The reason why I think it's a good short here, I know it's right above VWAP, is because it came right back down. I'm going to start a short there again. 50 shares at 811. It would be 826. If it breaks 8, I'll have to add. I guess I could have taken off half, but it was just for a quick scalp coming back. So now my risk moves up. Wait for a pop through 16s again to add. '17s, '18s. 20s. Just watching. Here comes HUBC. I have an order ready at 315s. My orders here, I don't know why they weren't here before. Setup's looking good. I was looking for a pop to add, but it doesn't look like I'm getting it. Here we go. 16. 18. There we go. Gonna add there. Add it at 19. So short 100 shares now. Nice. Average is 15, so that my average is a little bit better than last time. My average was like 802 last time, but still give you a little bit of a fake out on that 5-minute candle there. But I guess that's why you have tight stops. I mean, my true range, I want to have it up there, but if it's not going to go, then I'd rather scale in down here, especially at VWAP, and then watch this thing flush if it flushes. Decent red day, we can ride this thing back down to 780s. That's a high of yesterday. So out over 826. So there it is. We see this kind of flush down to the 90s, into the 90s, and then pop back up to 8 so I can short into it. So, market limit, price, 8. Not far enough to catch a bounce. Yeah, if you want to do 810, I guess. I don't know if I want to. Yeah, I don't really want to add here. It's just too close to my entry because I'm just holding too many shares. I would have to get some out at my original entry and then at the other bit out at 827. So if this drops, retest 97s and then tests like 810s, then that would look a little bit nicer. Or if it gives me a death candle, then I can size it in a lot more. That's better. So now if I put that back, at that order there, oh, looks good on the 15, looks good on the 1, looks good on the 5. And the market's heading lower. It's 87s. Probably take half off down here at 75s. Why am I taking half off? Well, it's the 200 on the 5, right? And there's previous support here for where it gapped up and where it bottomed here last time. So to protect myself, I'm going to take half off because if it decides to bounce, at least I have some cushion, or at least I took some of my loss. I mitigated it. So, it's not a big loss, so I'm not really worried about, like turning. Normally when you go red on the day, you want to, your whole position, your whole role switches from making profit to then defending your capital. And you try and make that loss not back, but you try and make it smaller. Considering that it's only 22.50, like I could take it off right now and still be profitable. So I'm not worried about that. But down here at 75, it just makes sense to take some off. It would be silly not to because it's a perfect area of where you could double bottom and bounce. And 200s there's a lot of support. So it would be the smart idea to cover a position here just in case. That'll mitigate my risk. I can add heavier on the bounce, and I'm going to mitigate my previous loss. See how it's candles are getting shorter, the volume's getting lighter. It means it's deciding whether to curl here or not, which is strange because, well, it's not strange, it's consolidated in this area before. It makes perfect sense. I just wish it came down a little bit more, the 10 cents. But if it decides to bounce before I get out, that would be, it's what it is, but I'd like to add BD or sun's coming up. Five-minute looks really nice. It's a topping tail rejection off of VWAP. I had the right idea here. My risk was just too high. I could have risked 35s, but everyone has their stop. And small size. Mm-hmm. I'm going to see. I'm going to cut that in half, actually. 8. I'm short 50 at 8s. 50 at 805. I really enjoyed the Phantom, depends on what you want to call them. They're just orders or limit orders, but people call them like Phantom orders or whatever you want to call it. Instead of like one entry, one out, it's really nice to see like if you can slow down and let me explain this better. Say your max share size is 100 shares, just for simple terms. And it's like your first time trading and whatnot, 100 shares, you'll start sweating. Every cent is $1, right? So if you go in one position, 100 shares at 8.15, and it goes against you, then you start sweating. You're like, oh god. But if you put out smaller orders, 50 here, 50 there, or 25, 25, 25, 25, then you look at the stock moving up in a different way, because I want to get filled. So I want the stock to come back up. But if I have one major entry, then I start sweating if it goes against me or goes up, because I didn't scale into the trade. So it doesn't feel like I'm taking part in the whole move. I don't know how to make that make more sense. But like, I'm okay with this curling. Maybe if I was full size at 8.15s, one entry, and I was going to do 100, like watch me get filled here at 8, I'm hoping. If it goes against me, if it hits 801 and I did 100 shares, I'd be like, oh man, I missed the top. I could have gotten 801 or 2 or 3 or 5. Wow. That's rude. That's really rude. Come on now. Retest 99s and then fails? Okay, I might move this down then. The reason why I'm moving that down is because I didn't get my ad, so I'm only holding 100 shares, so I want it to be a bigger winner. Considering that it's failing already, I have higher conviction that this level might break, and we'll see. But if you look at the 15, it hasn't broken down the 200 yet, but the 200 on the 15 is at 733. If you look at the 5-minute, it broke the 200 once there, and all day 3 days ago. So we'll see if it breaks again, but high conviction that it might not. It's at 773. Okay, so maybe it's just a fake out. Wait, it's St. Patty's today. never really celebrated St. Patrick's Day. It's just green and drinking, which I don't do either. Okay, so there it goes. So could have added there to my discretion, but again, we're not dealing with. I'm gonna get rid of these orders up there. This is where I should have got it. If it came up to that way, I would have been way better off. I would have been more comfortable. I could have, let's say, theoretically, this came up to this level, 835, 840s, and then I took a starter. It comes down to VWAP. It breaks VWAP right here. I retest. I add, right? And then it rejects. And then ideally, this could have came up and I added. So let's see this thing fail. Looking at the ask, there's some sellers here. Looking at the tape, lots of blue going through. Watch this thing snap through 80s. Watching. There we go. See this thing sell off, 77s. So it's bouncing off 80s. Again, see it. They're saying it's tapping this 200 level. So let's take a look at the other things. HUBC is the only other one I'm kind of watching. HSTO, you know, it's moving up. It's struggling here. It's above VWAP, but it's really cheap. I'm not interested in the 10-15 cent move. HUBC is a little bit higher priced. You know, I can scale in between 315 and 330s. And then, you know, come back down to this VWAP level at 287s and make 50-60 cents. You know, same with Mara, but even more so. You know, 815, we're down to 780s. And that's not even my profit target here. Whereas HSTO, it would be, you know, get in 165 and get out on 30s if I'm lucky, 35 cents. Everything else is garbage. SPY's failing. So anyways, I don't want to add here because if it bounces all the way back up to my entry, then that'd be annoying. And again, I'm wondering if I should. I kind of want to keep my ads here, but it wouldn't be a good look if it came back up to this pivot here and then broke above. But that's just me. But I wouldn't mind getting added into because I'm only holding 100 shares. I'd like to hold 300, maybe 4. So no new low on the day. We were close, but no new low. Let's see if it rejects here. All right, just watching here. So if this comes down, I'm going to take half off here. So if I take half off at 65s here, that'll pay for my loss, and then I'll be holding the other bit for small profit. And I'm gonna let it ride down, like 750s maybe or lower. You know, maybe the 200. We'll see. I woke up late. I was tired. It's Friday. It's gonna be a slower day. I'm making excuses for why I shouldn't be trading bigger size, but it's HUBC. You limit it 3 to 15s. HUBC is hard to borrow? What? No, it's not. Okay, well, I'm not going to pay for shorts. How many shares? 78 cents for 100 shares. 75 on Mara. Lower volume. Yeah, I'll take 100 shares. GBC. I don't know why it's hard to borrow. That's silly. But anyways, limit order at 315. We're going to short that. We're going to short the out would have to be 330s. So then 325. Short. Now I'm going to have to watch for that. See, it bounced off 80s again. That's annoying. So I made a new low at 71 by 2 cents. Now watch for a bounce and then see if we can catch an ad. Watching HUBC in my other platform, other platform here. I have a starter, don't have a starter. My starter is at 315s. It's currently testing 3s right now. But it has failed here a couple of times, so I might take a small starter here. At 99s. Just in case. Ours failing. There's a lot of sellers at 99, so as it breaks through, then I'll have a starter at 50s here. And then look to scale in through the break of this level. See if 70s break on Mara, holding 80s, or 77s. 97s, let's see if that breaks on HUBC. I don't know why, like, my main platform that you're seeing, this is my platform, my brokers, Interactive Brokers. And then I have Trade Zero, my right, and that's my shorting platform. But Interactive Brokers is garbage for borrows. Like, they have no locates for hard to borrows. But sometimes, like this example is HUBC's has 200,000 shares to short. It's easy. I don't think there's any leverage on it though. No. But on Trade Zero, it's hard to borrow. Mind you, it's only 70 cents to borrow 100 shares, so it's not bad. I paid for them. But still funny. Most of the time, stocks are hard to borrow on Interactive Brokers. And then they're easy to, or not easy, but really cheap on Trade Zero. But nonetheless. See if 73, that bid on Mara gets eaten up here. Watching this. There. Gets taken out. See if 70s can break. That next move would be 65. It'd be nice to get my out there. It looks like 99 isn't breaking. Ah, man, I wish I was in this move somewhat, but I'm not going to chase it. You know, for all my trendline friends, here's your silly trendline. There we go. There's 72. 20 GBC. Push up. Test 3 again at least. Come on. Get me in this. I should rip my face off though. So it was a break of 70s. So now we can retest 80s and then reject, hopefully. Unless more people come up and buy it. But we're in new territory on the day on Mara. It's in this zone. So this is my out zone. But I set my out at 65, so I'm only holding small size because I didn't get an ad. It hasn't really given us a nice ad. You know, if I woke up earlier, if this was a Monday or a Tuesday, you know, comes up to this area reject, and then at the open pushes through this. This is where I should have gotten short, and then that would have been amazing. Rip everyone's longs face off, cover a little bit, and then add for the short here, or add for the bounce, and then sell off into here. Anyways, back to 95s. Let's see if this thing can break. Looks like it's a long setup coming up over 3s. So I put this at 99s just to get filled, just to make sure I'm going to get filled. Like, here we go. We should get filled here. There we go. So we're in 50 shares, and it teleports up to 305. That's why my starter's at 3, because it keeps rejecting this area, and then my next ads are up here at 315. That's where I want it. But yeah, it might rip my face off and go straight to 330s. Not too sure. Technically, it's still the front side of the move, if you will. It's only 1046. So, see what's going on. Spy's selling off. That's a good sign. Let's go to HUBC. Mara, 41 cents in the money. And it's curling under 80 here. So, look, if it bounces up to 90, I'll add at the EMA. But it has yet to do that. Oh yeah, I still have orders on my other account, so I'll be like triple short on this thing, or double short, I guess. Since it's easy to borrow in this account, I'm going to short it in this account as well. Might as well if you know. But if it was hard to borrow, then I would have only shorted it in my Trade Zero account, not in this account. But took a starter there. See how it's hard. Over 305. It's tricky. Mind you, it's gonna probably do that now, but it kept rejecting here at 3. So 50 shares is nothing. Just getting in here. So, bad thing is I have to use the washroom real bad. $304, seller at 304, 10,000 shares. Mara coming up. Move my order down. It's 308. So this thing's a fast mover, and it's still on the front side of the move, so you have to be pretty careful with your outs. Like, what's my stop since it's so close? Like, my second ad's at 325 on my Trade Zero, and the high day is 330 or 331. So what am I comfortable losing? I think if it hits 325, it'll slam through 331.
So it can't be that, but we'll have to see. I'll have to monitor it. Bad timing. I want to use the washroom before all this. So let's go to HUPC, hard rejection off the 310 level there. So nice on the 5 minute again. See those topping tails right here? I'd almost want to add in this account just in case I don't get filled up to this level. Let's look at the 15s. It's a flat top here over VWAP. Add an order at 305s. So at least I'm protected in this account. So I'm gonna head to the washroom, and everybody knows the second he leaves the computer, some crazy shit's gonna happen. You know, I'll come back and this thing will be at $19. What happened in 4 minutes? Oh gosh, that's a nice candle in the 5 minute for a short setup. Huge topping tail, large volume. So breakdown of 290. See, I wish I got filled a little bit more all the way up, so then it can come crashing down on that candle. Anywho, let's go back to Mara. Mara still holding the 780 level. My ad orders are at 792 and 802. That'll move my average just about to VWAP, I think. Which isn't a horrible entry. I mean, they come and retest VWAP all the time, but see how it looks like it's excuse me, how it's curling on the 5 minute. Guess you can't see my finger on the screen. I'll use the mouse. How about that? It's curling on the 5 minute, so it's coming down, and then it creates double bottom here, gets bought up, you know. Mind you, it is failing now on the 1 minute. So if it breaks 70s, that would be a new low. Which would be a really nice bear flag through the 200. Just like that. Nice. Let's see 70 break now. I want to see bids flying. But it's not. It's getting held. There's the seller at 75. Now watch this thing flush. There's 71s. See 70s. Oh, come on. Give me a break. There we go. There's 69s. The bid. 68's coming up. 60. Come on. So 65s, take half off. $66. See 65s. Don't do this to me. Don't bounce. Don't bounce now. Oh my god. We're 1 cent away. That's what hurts the most. Oh my god. 1 cent away. That hurts the most. When your order's there, you're ready. And it just misses your order. It's frustrating. Then you feel FOMO. I've done this so many times, so I'm not going to do it. You feel FOMO, so I get it up here. So I'd be like, oh, well, it's definitely not coming back. So I'm going to take it at like 782. And then it flushes through. So, you know what? I don't care that it didn't hit 765. I'm just gonna, if it pops back up, I'm just gonna hit it with more size. Let this thing dump on itself. Defecate on itself, if you will. HUPC, that topping tail is red on the 5 minute, which looks really nice. Even though I took 50 shares on this account, nothing. I wanted to size in 300 shares again. I'm just missing all my fills. Stocks, it's Friday. Stocks aren't moving as predicted of like the levels. They're just over or just under. So I kind of want to move my ads back up because this curl consolidation, if it breaks out of 82s, 83s, I think it can retest view up again. I don't want to add prematurely. No. 299. See, if it came back up to my entry and then eventually stopped me out when I was literally 1 cent away from taking my profit, that stings, man. That really stinks. I wouldn't be surprised if it did it, so knock on wood. Oh, wow. And it bounced 20 cents. That hurts. Look at that. Okay, do I want to add here? Kind of. Just get more size in. Just hit it with more size. Be aggressive. Today's not really the day to be aggressive, but you gonna film me? Oh my god. Are you serious? Here we go. Oh my god. Okay, well, I'm either going to get filled 50 shares at 765 or at 787. There we go. Here we go. There we go. So add it there. That was max frustration. $790s. Oh god. What did I say? Max frustration. Low of 66. And then bounces straight back to my entry. I was up 50 cents. Now I'm up 13. Oh, 10 cents. I'm up 10 cents. It just bounced 50 cents. Don't be frustrated. Just add in more size. Look at the volume on this. It's not that much. So that's what's giving me conviction to add. $25 shares at 8. $7.95. I added there 25 shares, holding 175. This thing could rip my face off. So you have to start thinking about where's your out. Well, my out has to be. You can't look at your P&L at this point. You can't be like, well, I'm in too heavy. because I have to risk 826. That's where the chart makes the most sense. That's where the previous resistance was. I got where's my curtains? I can't see Jack. Jack, where? So I'm just scaling into this move. Just in case it fails before 8, because it's clearly not hitting my levels. Well, shouldn't say that. Just frustrated that it was 1 cent off. GBC looks like it's going to break down here. Might add into it. Shares. It's just breaking view up. I'm going to wait to add on it. At the SPY, it's curling. Nice. Nice rejection. See if it holds this level. I'd like to hold 300 shares, but Mars is a tricky one to trade, in my opinion. You know, I was green on it, then I went red on it last 2 days, back to green on it, back to red on it. Red on it today, was red on it yesterday, was green nicely the day before that. It just like it kind of fakes. It doesn't fake you out. Like it hits the levels. Obviously, I'm just being picky here. See if it bounces here. But I got to go to the washroom. So after this, 200 shares, and average is going to be about 8, and risking 26, 827. That's 27 cents. With 200 shares, that's going to be around $50 of risk. Five days. So you know what? I'm just gonna have to go close it out on Fridays. I take this, hit stop. Oops. Hit stop for 200 shares. Or sorry, 100 at market 8.26, I think. And then over 850. Up there. So that'll have to be my outs. Unfortunately, it's going to be higher, but I got to use the washroom. So I hope to not get stopped out. I don't know, but I'll be back. Okay. So it's failing 8s or 790s again. 789, this EMA. Let's see if it breaks down. At least I got some ads in there. I'm missing 25 shares, but that's okay. And only up 7 cents, 6 cents with my HUBC so far. Just kind of hanging around. It's popping off the VWAP here, but it's failed twice with pretty big, ugly topping tails. So, yeah. Oh wow. I'll look away for 1 second. Back at 8s. So yeah, my thinking is if it hits 8 and I add in at 200 shares under VWAP, I'll let it get to 826. It's going to have to take out the high days, which I don't really think it's going to happen. So I'm just going to have to close down my P&L and let the trade do whatever it wants. So I don't think about it. But when it fails, if it fails, then I'll add my third 100 shares. This is 8 added, so I'm in 200 shares at 8. My average is 804, I think. Right? 804. So scaled in here. My first half out would be 828, and then the other half would be 855. It can easily go there, but considering that volume's dying down, I think it's just creating a pivot. It is over the 45 EMA on the 15, and it's hitting VWAP and the 45 EMA on 5 minute with lower volume. So I have higher conviction for sure. And so to speak, to be patient, being patient pays. My reasoning for this, well, because there's an argument for everything. So like if I got half out here at 65s, I could have added back to 200 and then rode this back down. But considering that I didn't, I would have only taken $25 here, profits at 65s. But since it came back up and I doubled my position, then I come down. If it comes back down to 765s, actually it'd have to be 55s now because my average came down 10 cents. I would be about $50 here. So we'll see. The green candles is extended 3 minutes on the 3 5-minute candles all in a row, getting smaller each time with lower volume. The dojis looks like it's going to reverse. It can pop through VWAP first to retest. Not too sure. So it's just probabilities now. I have my probability set in, but I want to make sure that the risk to reward is there. So 804, 3%, that's 25 cents to the first target, to this first stop, and then 6%, it's 50 cents the next. So I want first 65, which is almost 5%, and then the rest we can hit 48s or 50s, which is 6%. So it's about a 1-to-1. I want 50 cents. So it'd be 55 to be 50 cents here. Just see. But we should just scale out of this. So I'm going to do, where am I here? Limits. We can do 25 shares at a time. First at 765. And then 60. 755. 750. So that's 100 shares in there. See if this breaks out or what. I can definitely add into this thing. So the chart, you know, so where does it have to go to add to this thing? I think if it popped through VWAP and didn't stop me out and then came back down, I'd probably add near my entry again because that would give me a little bit more conviction. All we can do really is wait. It looks good, in my opinion, to the short side. You know, sound like a broken record, but high market cap, high float, decent volume, but the lowest volume compared to every other day. Um, extended on the 5-minute under VWAP, already failed it once. It's getting later in the day. It is zombie hour, so it can break through VWAP and just rip my face off. But that's the risk I'm willing to take. So if I lose, though, that would be $28 plus 55. So say 26 or 28 plus 55 plus 23 that I already lost. So it would be, if I lost on this, it would be $106 loss. If I win on this, it would be, let's see here. If I take half off, that's 65, 60, 65, 50. We do 60s. So 100, or sorry, minus 760s, 44 cents times 100, so that's $44. And then depending on where I hold the rest, I like to get the rest out at, I don't know, maybe 30s. Should be 70 cents, so plus another 70. So it'd be 114, so close to 1-to-1. However, it'd be a little bit less because I already took a $23 loss. So, okay. HUBC still up there. It's 806. I'd like to see a death candle. Something that tells you that this thing does not want to be at this level. I just want to see it go fling. But I've only missed to come into that. I'm in for that. But everything's kind of pointing, like, look at the market. I mean, it's trying to curl. It's Friday. HSTO. It's failing here. Big seller, 24,000 share seller at on Mara, 806. But it's not breaking right away. Wow, it's getting bought up actually. Waiting for something to tell me that this thing is ready to call it quits. Like a big red candle. Like the opening red candles. It's not even big, but like something like that. And then short the pop into it. But it just wants to keep grinding higher. It'd be really frustrating if it just grinded like this, small candles, all the way up to my entry and then flushed. Still waiting. Really like to see a big red candle here. Can't believe it was 1 cent out. That would have been way better to get me out and then start flat on the day. But it's what it is. I want to see this thing flush, man. I want to say, like, just the bids get taken. A flush down at 8 would be okay. But a flush through 8 would be, like, okay. But we're holding this 10 level. Oh my gosh. This thing has no volume. Like, look at the 15. Look at the volume step down. And look how extended it is. Again. THMO? What the? Gosh darn. I think it's another runner. Not much volume though, so I'm not really interested. Oof, oof. There's the top out. See, now does it flush? Has to flush under 805s. High volume on this candle. I want this to be the flush candle. I want this 15-minute candle to turn red. I want this candle to flush through VWAP, which is at 804. Okay. Nice. HUBC is kind of curling back down. We're holding 50 shares, but at 3. So if this thing can retest, I don't know, 220.
It's 806, 804. Let's see, flush through 808, not 80. 3. Nice, 15 candle turned red. Theta ones. I'm not going to add quite yet. It's above the 45 on the 1 minute. I don't want it to bounce, especially that like that. I want the pullback to be a fail, a clear fail, not an easy breezy, beautiful cover girl. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want it to nicely pull back to view up so people can load in. See, like, look at, let's see if big bids. Yeah, there's a big bid at 802. Let's see, oh, it got flushed. Okay, that's a little bit better. But I don't want it to get bought up. Nice. Okay, through 8. It's a better sign. Now, if it flushes again, like what we said last time, if it flushes and provides a bounce, then I'm down. If it flushes a little bit more, probably like to 90s, where this level is, and then bounces, I'll add full size. Because it's telling me that it still, again, doesn't like this level. You know, for all my trendline friends, whoa, that was some lag. You know, so rough. Oh, shoot. Oh, for Christ's sake. I'll just adjust it from the bottom. There. There's not, I'm not going to say, I just keep beating up trend lines, but there's your like little wedge. So for all I know, this thing can consolidate in this wedge and then freaking break out at the end of the day, or it can break down from it. But regardless, it is a downtrend, lower low there. So high, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. I'm hoping to scale out half here into a lower low. My positions are just under this, so at least maybe half of them get hit. Then I can either add back and continue, or this thing will consolidate, break down lows. It won't stop me out or cover, and then it'll break out to the highs. But you know, the trades here, you see my orders, you see the lines. It's just probability now. I don't know or care if, well, shouldn't say I don't know or care if it goes up. I don't know if it's going to. Obviously, I want it to go down, and my conviction is towards the downside. But I can't sit here and say, yeah, it's going to go down because it touched it 3 times on the trend line. It's a guarantee. I don't know. Like, look, it's at support right now. It can bounce. Something can happen. Somebody can buy this whole company right now, and it can jump to 12. The likelihood of that happening is low, but nonetheless. So see this breakdown 90s. Nice. 3, could eat this banana. So elevator up, small candles, and then decent candle. I wouldn't call that a death candle. I want a death candle like on the 1 minute. Just go. So if we got one candle from a high of 816 down to 93s, I'd call that a pretty good sign. But considering that just sold off like that, look at the volume, nothing, it can easily get bought back up, retest view up at 803 and then fail, or just pop right back through the highs. But if it continues selling off, then it's also good. I'm not going to complain about that. 15 minute looks really good. See how it's having the same form as this big red candle on the 15? Test and then a fail. You know, if my risk was really high, or if I was taking really high size, I can't speak. If I'm taking really big size and my risk tolerance isn't good on the 15, my out could have been at 806. Like, I can't risk any more of this pivot. But look, it breaks through just like it did here. So I said, I have to minimize my P&L so I don't get distracted by how much I'm down. And I'm going to play off these specific levels. That's what you have to do. And I have to be okay with the loss. I calculated the loss. I'm okay with it. So my first out, half, would be 828 because that's breaking a new pivot. That's breaking the trend. And then the other half would be breaking high of day because if it breaks the trend, comes into this area and then fails, I'll add right back. And then hopefully the chart will fail and I'll remake my half and my small loss. That's the thinking behind it. So yeah, the P&L is minimized, not looking at it. I'm in the money, but I'm not going to look at it because I know my levels. I'm not going to get distracted of, well, I was down $23. I can take it at 10 cents and make that back. No, I got the levels. And HEBC is failing, which is nice. I'm only up $10 on it. I'll take a cheeky look. Up 22 cents on HEBC. 25 cents. Whoa, failing now. So, why is that? See, there's the bounce. Do I add? Just really small size? There's 2 minutes left on this 15-minute candle. And on this 5-minute. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting a text from my boss here. Oh, gold, yeah. He's a gold bug and Bitcoin, whatnot. So the ES is coming down. Holy, yeah, breaking highs. Let's see the daily chart. Wow. Good for that. Here we go. Rocket ship. Silver saw not so much. It took a beating, but so did gold. Gold's right back at the highs. The dollar's taking a tumble though. Gonna reply to that. Take a look at crypto. I haven't taken a look at crypto in a minute. Bitcoin. It's at 36 Canada, 26 US. Nice, 26,000. Let's check on the daily. Wow. Nice. I like that. It's at 8. Do I add here? Eight oh one, 802. See if it fails back through 8s here. Big bid at 801, so if it gets taken.
looking to add small size up here. But I want to see 8 fail. There's a bid there. I'm going to finish my reply to my boss here. See this 17,000 share bid get taken. Wow, got added to. But if people aren't liking it, they'll dump it. But it's curling on the 15 and the 5. So I don't want to prematurely. If I add here, it breaks down under 8. If I add, then my out for this small size will be. Sorry, I'm just really focusing on this. My out will be the high of that pivot there, like 816 or whatever. It's getting held up. I added there at 801s, just 25 shares. So my out for this number would be 816s, 817s. That's annoying. Fakes me out. I was waiting for that bid to get sold into, but I guess it did get sold into and then got bought up. So it increased the buying pressure. But whatever. That has stopped me out. It's a funky trade. Added at 801. So better than 799. I'd like to see this fail again. This would be a perfect time to fail. You know? This pivot here, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't like that pivot. I'd rather see it fail. But considering that it makes a new low, bounces, doesn't make a new high though, and then comes down but makes a higher low, that scares me. Well, it's scary, but it makes me think that this can create a higher high rather than because it made a higher low. So it looks like this is the first initial move to indicate a trend change. The trend was to the downside. High, low, higher low, lower low. And then higher low, but sorry. What did I say? Lower. Oh my god. High, low. This is a lower high. That's a lower low. This is a lower high, but this is a higher low. Same with this. Right? So all my trendline friends, you're really worried about it. Let's see if it rejects this level. See you flush through 8. That's the wrong way, my friend. So it'd be really nice if it flushed through this level. But it's got a long way to go. It's got to flush through 90. Here to 1. To 8s. See if it holds. Nice. Broke through 8. See if it flushes through this trend line.
96. Flush through 90 would be absolutely beautiful. On that trend line, I'm not saying trend lines don't work. I just think they crowd the chart. I feel like they just X and just being biased, but as you can see, they work and to show you like what our levels might bounce. You know, when you see a higher low, you know this isn't a broken chart. Oh boy, this isn't a broken chart. This is a clear uptrend so far. So it has to break this trend and then break this low to then say there's a lower low. And as long as there's not a lower low, it can go right back up. I mean, it can go back up if it still makes a lower low, just fake you out. But so far, the 5-minute looks good. And the 15. Five minutes looking good. C95 break, it's holding so far. Just getting recycled with bids. Come on. Six. C95 break. Oh, it's the worst feeling in the world. You're out of coffee. Come on. Give me a bear flag under this EMA. Through 95, there's 94. Now let's see a snap through 90. I think a lot of people are going to try and get out now. They're going to realize that this trend is still valid. Like the trend to the downside, the lower highs. Yeah. On the 5-minute, however, yeah, there is no higher low. It's still just a curl to the downside. It could have been a higher low if it bounced there and then retested, but this red candle indicated that it's still continuing to curl lower. So let's see, 94, 3, 2, 1. No, that's the wrong way. Don't fake us out here. It's technically, as long as it's over 90 or 89, it's still a higher low. If it starts to curl here, we're screwed. The 1 minute on HUBC looks like we're curling down to the lower side after we bounced. The low here is 71. That was a consolidation after the bounce, but we can hit 50s, I think. I'm just going to hold this to 250s. Now it's retesting this trend line. If it pops back through 8, then we can probably see a break over this pivot of 806. Come on. Sell into this. Love to see a mini red candle here. Think. Flush through. That's the wrong way. This little ABC. You know, A, B, C, D. Let's see, is it E or is it E? Little wedge pattern. If I don't really like calling it an ABCD pattern. It's like, why is it a 1, 2, 3, 4 pattern? You know? Why can't I draw this trend line for like the life of me? You know? So there's the trend. So here's the apex, if you will. So if it curled here and it curled into 8s, it could have broken up to the upside or downside, but it looks like it's failing now. There's 94s. Let's see, 3s, 2s, and 1s. There's 3. Oh my god. Come on. I just want to see it like kind of teleport. There's 2s. Nice. Let's see, 1s, 89s. If I see 88s on the bid, it's game over. There's 90s. 88s. Boom, baby. There we go. So that's looking good. Let's see. Don't you dare get bought up. Don't you dare. Cool. The 88 break. See, that's a bit of a stronger candle there, and it's a higher volume on the 1 minute at least. 15 looks good, 5 looks good, 1 looks good. So kind of looks like a good ad under VWAP here on HUBC. $88 is. I'm gonna put an order out there short at 88s. Yeah. So that's my average here. Really nice average, the top of this. And then it failed to VWAP miserably. And now it's coming back up. I'll take an ad, so my average will come down probably like 93s or whatever, and then hopefully I can retrace and follow this thing down. But Mara, oh Mara, why do you do this to my heart? I'm done with this trend line. Get out of my face. So it broke, and now it's retesting. 89s, so low, 88, 87s. Uh-oh, volume slowing down, the candles are getting smaller. That might indicate a trend change. If it bounces here, it would be a good bounce. Yep. Yeah, look at that. On the 5 minute for sure. It can set up, and if it breaks 8s, I'm telling you, this thing can rip right through 806, right through 818s, right back up. But I think it needs another green candle to retest and then a slam down. Considering that it's lower volume here and it's just small scaling, we're not in the clear yet. I prefer it under 780s. Yeah, I want to see on the 5 minute here, it topping tail, hard rejection, rejection down, consolidation, and then stairs up, elevator down, bounced, rejection. Now it's doing this. Small candles, like this is what I mean. It's smaller candles, indecision. It's starting to consolidate here. I really wanted to see this candle here, this red doji, a bigger, stronger red candle down. Boom. This one can still go if it decides to reject. The 1 minute still looks good. Under the EMA, it just needs to go footing, and that'll tell me that it's ready to continue going down. But for now, with low volume, these small little moves down, 2 cents or 3 cents down, 1 cent up kind of situation, it feels like it's waiting for somebody to call in a bid, buy like, I don't know, 20,000 shares, and then rip this thing right back to the upside. So this candle, I would like it ideally to break 87s and rip to 77s or 79s, like rip down to this level. And that'll show and tell people that this thing is done. Like, don't try and buy it. I'm done. Go, ba-ding. Like this candle here went from 804 to 93s, 10 cents. But look, see how it comes down, gets bought up. It needs to pull away. Because every time it bounces like this, it's giving buyers confidence that it likes this level. Come on, fail. Fail this level. If it breaks 87, it'll make a new low. Like in this 90 level. I feel like I should just, since it's so slow, I feel like I should take more off. More off, like under the 780 level. So I'll do like another 25 at 777. That was weird. 770. It's 50, 100, 150. I'll hold the last 50 shares. Look at this. I'm saying, yeah, the dojis. This thing's curling right back up. It's going to rip my face off. The longer it gets in the day, the more of a bad feeling I get. Same thing happened yesterday. You go back to yesterday on the 5 minute. Look, I was short. Got stopped out, went back short, got stopped out, went back short, and then just kept going. And I got stopped out there yesterday. So I didn't take this move, but still. Like, come on, guys. Get back into this level. It's consolidating and working above where it broke out yesterday, so it's liking this area. This is definitely a buy area for them. It doesn't want to get down here anymore. Do I add here? Yeah, this thing's gonna go, man. I could just see it on the 5 minute. This thing's gonna push the view up, break, 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 break. I'm gonna stick to my plan. I'm gonna add if it breaks 8 or tests it. It's almost noon market time, so I'm hoping that algos get shut off and they just go home. They just send this thing to hell. Could add here, wanting it to be closer to 8, but at the same time, like if it breaks 8, it'll go. So I don't really want to short it at 8, but it could fake me out. So I made a lower low. So let's see if it continues with a lower high. There's 8. If I see 96, I'll short to see that it rejected, but it's holding right now. Retesting 8. So let's see. There's 7. If I see 96 on the bid, I'll short it. And then my risk will be over this pivot. Over the last pivot of like 806 or something. Just for the 25 shares. I'm going to short it there. So I'm going to take 25 shares, put a stop on it, buy stop over. I'm just going to put 807s. It's just above this pivot. So risking 10 cents on 25 shares. So do you see, does that make sense of how I'm, no one's here. Does that make sense on like how I scale through this? So that creates a new pivot, like new high. And every time I add on these peaks, my out will be the previous one, because that would be an indicator of a trend change. So if it comes up and it breaks 806 and it hits 807, I'm getting out for what I just added. And if this peak breaks, I'm getting out for what I added. Does that make sense? If this peak breaks, I'm getting out for what I added there. That's why it gets bigger and bigger and bigger all the way up. But that's a way to protect yourself, because when the trend changes, I don't want to take 300 shares off at 850s. It'd be a big loss. So I'm going to scale out of this as it's breaking the trend. You know, it's curling, but it's under view up. It can reject still. So I'm in at 250 now, so just trying to scale this range, and I'm hoping that it fails. You know, that's all the probability is. I see the trade, I see the trend, just trying to ride it, and it can change. It's power hour, it's not power hour, but it's zombie hour between like 10:30, 11:30, and 12, and then 12 is lunchtime, gets slower, algos take over, and then at the end of the day, power hour. It's a whole bunch of different hours. Did I get added on? No. Excuse me. Average is 803. And I added at 96.5. Sounds good to me for the 25 shares. Still small size. Scaling in like that allows you to add in at periodic times without changing your average too much, and capitalize on all of these movements. Like if I wanted my max size was 300 shares, and I added 300 shares, at 803, like where I am, if it breaks that, then what? But if I have some here and here and here and here and here, then it allows me to expand my risk. I don't know if that makes sense. That's just how I see it. Nice, nice, nice. So this was the risk that I'm talking about. I added here, not even at the peaks. I waited for it to top out. 96, I saw that 96 level was holding. When I saw that it broke, I added, and I'm risking the high of this previous peak. Because if it breaks that, that's a trend change. Now we still need to make a lower low. If we don't make a lower low, then it's going to continue to the upside and it can break out and straight back up. But again, the 15 death candle, that's a key thing. Everyone's scared of this candle right here in the 15. Highest volume, red candle on the day. I'm scared to take this long under it. It would have to come all the way back, break high of day, and then I'd be comfortable going long on it because it shows me that it's strong enough to do that. Then I had a big pivot and a nice big red candle, and then another pivot, doji at the top, not selling off. Volume's coming down, the candles are getting smaller, so it could curl here and retest this level. I'll get stopped out, and I'll have to call it a day, because by that time it'll probably, like watch, it's going to come right back up. I just wish this thing like chose a direction and went to it instead of this slow and steady consolidation. But yeah, look at the curl in the 5 minute. Yeah, this ad is a little bit, I'm not going to say it's bad. It's not bad at all. I'm just shorting the peaks, but I know that it's curling. I can see that it's curling. So it's a little bit more risky on the 5 minute, but I already have my trade in, so I can't really do much after that. Wouldn't be surprised if it breaks this top at 807, 810s. Like just kind of the market makers, they want to stop everyone out because they get money and more liquidity, so they'll see all these orders and see where people are at, and they'll just like, oh, we're already close to this level, we'll just push it another 10 cents, stop these guys out, take their shares, and then drop it right back down. It's 801. So it would be really cool right now, a death candle. Let's see what it does. This is so boring, but let's record my talk. So it broke above the 45 EMA on the 15. $7.99. 98 would then reject 8s on the ask. I don't see any bids come up. Nothing we can do about it. The risk is set. My outs are there, my stops and my covers. Weigh the risk to reward. We need a big flush. That's what this chart needs. It needs to be ruined. Just like this. See how extended it was? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 green candles in a row, and then flush. We got 1 green doji, 2, 3, 4 candles in a row, and then we need a flush right back down to 90s. That would make me real happy. And I'd probably add my last 50 shares. But here's the flat top break. If it breaks through VWAP. And again, since I'm only taking off 25 shares, if it breaks that level and it flushes right back down, I'll add back. It's not like I lost my entire position and I have to start scaling back in again. It's 25 shares. Nice. Rejects 8. Now let's see this thing flush through this level. 97s, 96, 95s. Oh my god. Right back up. Wow. So the volume is like non-existent now, which tells me something has to change here. Something has to bring interest to spike the volume, and that's probably a breakout to the upside. There's 804. There's a big seller, 805s. Let's see if it gets bought up. Lots of green on the tape. That gets bought up. I'll get stopped out for the 25 shares here. Let's see a flush. Come on. I don't want to see a trend change. Just tire out the longs here. Bigger bid comes up on the 6,800 shares. There's 803, 802. See a flush back through 8, please. Zeta 1s. There's a rejection. I want to see 8 fail and prove to be failed, meaning break through 95s and back down to 90s in a quicker manner. That will scare longs. If 95 breaks, I'm like, okay, maybe I should back off. That was a good red candle that closed. Let's continue this. There's 96 on the bid. Let's see 95 break. There we go. Now, don't you bloody bounce. It needs to create a new low. And to do that, I mean, obviously, it's got to break 90s and down to 86. If it bounces here, it's doing the exact same thing it's been doing the whole time. Here's your damn trend line. Longs will see this trend line and be like, look, it's creating lower high or higher lows. I'm going to take this bounce off 95s. And if it bounces through 805s, they just made 10 cents, and then they'll add into the break of this pivot, because that'll fuel the fire up to 827s. That's what I'm thinking to do as a long. But if it breaks this, you'd be like, oh, okay, well now it's not supporting this level. So if on the ask in the bid, I want to see 94, 3, 2, 1 in like a manner. See how it's just getting bought up here? Look at that. Right off this 95 level. So let's say you get in at 95s. Here's your 5 cents when it touches 8s. And if it pops back up over 805, you bet they're going to add. See, look at that. Look at that bounce. Now watch 805 break. And that'll fuel the fire through this bounce straight up to 817s. Unless it fails. But again, this is a good sign. There's just not huge sellers right now. Sure, there's 5,000 shares, but the bid also, oh wow. Here we go. People are going to add here. I'm going to get stopped out. I'm going to move this over. There's sellers at 804 again. No, see, the fact that it bounced right off that is so confident for the longs right now. Big bottoming tail on the 5-minute, higher volume on the 5-minute. This is what we needed to have a trend change, and unfortunately it's just to the upside. So there's no more volume on the 15, as you can see. So something needs to happen to bring the volume back. And that would be a breakout over 805. It's 15,000 share seller at 805s. If that gets bought up, which I'm sure it will, then it'll rip through 807s. This will turn green. Mind you, it is kind of extended on the 5, but here it is. There's 805. Watch it get bought up here. We need like a 5. Oops. We need like a, there's 15,000 shares on the ask, but that's nothing. We need like 500 or something like that. No, because watch it get bought up here. There it goes. If we saw 100,000 shares, not 15, then I think that would terrify longs, and they'd be like, nope, I'm out. But no, it's getting bought up here. It's going to snap. There's 14,000 shares. Unless they add on to it. This thing has to flush, but if it flushes, it has to break 94s. There's 805s. Fives, here we go. It's holding steady. It re-added another 2,000 shares. It's 14,000 shares. I'm not seeing any buying just yet. Could be an iceberg seller, like this thing. No. Oh, okay. Still bouncing. There's 804s in front of it. I think the longs are going to get tired if this has to be the minute that they break out here. Could be a false break. If it breaks through 807, it could it could false break out and then flush. There's 803, 802. People are getting tired. Back down to 8s. Come on, we have to flush here. $7.99, nice. Back down to 8s. You gotta flush, big flush, big flush. It's gotta break 95s. God, right back up. That might be the flush that they need to buy in. I don't know, I'm just trying to give a commentary here, but anything can happen. But just to show you, I mean, it is a strong level. 805 is a very strong level, right above that psychological 8 resistance. It's 802. Now here we go. I think we're gonna get cleared here. 803. More buyers coming in. They're like, yeah, this thing's bouncing again. 804.
I think it's so anticipated. This volume, yeah, here we go. This volume so anticipated that it could break highs or retest high a day. So this will be my last trade. If it doesn't work out, I'm not going to take any more trades on the Friday. It's already 9:12 or 12:12 market time. Back at 805s, it's that 14,000 share sellers still there. No, they're broke. There's 806, there's 807s. There, got stopped out there for 25 shares. You know, reference, I took $1 loss on that because my average. See, now let's see. All those buyers are buying up at 805s. Let's see if they have enough strength to push it higher. It might just flush, and if it flushes, then where do I add back? Under 95. It needs to have a hard hitting reset. So 806. It's already struggling here at 806. So like, how much more can it really go higher? I don't know. It's very extended on the 5 minute. But volume's increasing now. See, that's what we needed. We needed a break of trend, and this was a break of trend. Big sellers here, 8.9s, 809, 810s, 40,000 share seller at 810s. If this gets bought up, this thing's going. We need a death candle. No, it broke at 812s. Okay, well, probably done trading Mara after this day. This is the third day I've been trying to trade it, and it's tricky. It breaks down, breaks the trend, breaks back down, breaks the trend. Get ready to add back if it flushes. It's hard to get filled on the bid for some reason, so I'm just marketing in. Just watching for a flush. See if there's longs that are stuck now. And once this thing flushes, they're going to get taken. And again, trend just changed, so they're probably all hyped up and want to buy this thing. However, I will say, if I go to Mara, this window that I have in here, this window is where I wanted to get short this morning, and it never came back to it. So if it does come back to it, I probably will take it short in my shorting account. Mara is $1 for 100 shares. Actually, it's been going. Oops. But then it would go green. It would have a huge bottom topping tail. I don't know. Probably not. I'll just leave it in this account. Don't need to trade in it. It's topping out again between this 8-10 level. So we'll see. Just a matter of time. Yeah. The 200 moving day average on the daily is at $9. So we do have major resistance under it. So considering how extended this is on the 5-minute, I love to see a big red candle. But, you know, again, if we zoom out to yesterday, what time? It was around 1:20, so about an hour. This thing broke out and changed trend the whole day, so. I want to see a big death candle because if it's a small little red candle, that'll be a really nice setup for the longs. After a long stair-step extension up, a nice little cheeky pullback to retest VWAP, and then a curl back through, and then break highs. And so that's what I'm watching as a long. Is this green? Why do I have a filter on my camera? I don't want that. Why does it do that? Is it a green screen? Is that why it's on? That's freaky. Anyways, okay, so here comes testing VWAP. Not interested in adding here, because that would be silly if I added here and then it just bounced. It needs to flush. And then I'll say, here we go. HUBC, still kind of just hanging around this 82 level. I'm in the money by 10 cents, but I'm only holding 50 shares. So yeah, there's the bounce off VWAP. That's why you don't want to add there. It needs to flush through. Whatever. Nothing we could do. Like, this is trading so boring. Like, once you wake up early and you set your alerts and your probability, here's the first 5-minute pullback and then a rip through. You know, so a break over, what is it, 806, 810s. A break over 810s will send us through 815s up to 820s. Here's 810s. It doesn't look like there's much resistance here, so let's see if we can buy it up. Love to see Mara back down, but might not just be my day. But it's looking good for a breakout. That's nice. You know, it's gotta snap through VWAP, man. Can't retest it like this. Just needs to flush. Big flush, like down through 95s. So that's the second retest of VWAP and a bounce right back up. This 15-minute will look really good if in another 8 minutes, if it stays this small, and then the next 5-minute or the next 15-minute green candle breaks through that and then rips up to 834, I think will be the next target. Sore. Time to stand, I think. The heck was that about? ASR. I don't know what that means. Okay, hold up. My table almost just broke. Yeah, look at this thing. It's just it's bouncing again off this level. Okay, I'll be back. I have to check if there's an error, like on the. Might have just jumped the system. Or. Okay, well, I'm gonna end the stream here and see if I can do something